Well, since there are four of us here, shall we begin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome Laura, thank you for joining us, and let's. Well, you know, I stuck public comment in next. So anybody, Laura, would you like to make a comment as a visitor?
I'm just listening. I'm glad for everything you guys are doing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, there's some nice things coming up, so yeah.
Okay, good. Well, if you have any additional ideas after we mess up the rest of the meeting, straighten us out at the end there too.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, we need to approve the minutes.
I move.
I second. Oh, Steve seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Yay. And thank you so much for those minutes, Christina. I took a chance. I finally got around to reviewing them about 4 or 5 days ago, something like that. And I saw all these things I needed to be doing. And it was good. Well, let's in fact, the first one on the old business list is the updated committee charge. I have a copy. I did do it. You said get it done, or I had said I will get it done. I have done a minimal improvement of it. I can show you if you want. I could email you the old charge and the new charge, or we could just talk about it right now. Which would you prefer?
Well, I think we can't, with open meeting, we can't discuss via email. We can read and discuss later. So if you want to
Yeah.
maybe pull up some highlights,
Yeah. Why don't I do that?
and then we may want more people
I
to
can
finalize.
Yeah,
I
have you heard from, I did hear from Janet, who asked about the link. And I told her I thought you would be sending it out
link for the
today, for this
for
meeting.
today. Oh, you mean for this meeting?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought I sent it to you guys. I'll send it to her right away.
Yeah, she's on the email.
Yeah. Let me, you know, it's funny you say that because I ended up having to download the agenda from the town website to pick up the link to get on myself a few minutes ago. Let's see. Okay.
I'm texting her.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. Yeah. So why don't I share screen and I'll just show you the couple little tiny changes that are in this. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to share a screen, and then can you see this agenda now? Okay, so we'll go up. I mean, the charge. So I know this has got a bunch of colors on it. The colors are red for changes that were made in 2021, mostly by both by myself and by Jane Hotchkiss. And so what we have here is, so those changes aren't any changes we're making now. Those changes are just changes that we haven't I guess we haven't accepted all these, and it probably would be better if I had, because then this would all disappear. So the change, the only change I made to it was there was a misspelling. I fixed that. And then I added the following right here. You see this: members shall be appointed for 3-year terms.
Mhm.
That's the change that they were kind of asking us for. They realized that the committee is not like a 1-year shot and then we're all done. So they're thinking about the committee being more ongoing. So they wanted to update the charge to reflect that. So I added that. Then
Mark, what's the blue text above membership?
Yes, membership
Above membership.
section C.
Blue.
Oh, that blue text.
Yes, that blue text.
That was added in 2021 with the idea that our committee would be not just focused on pesticides, but also focused on improving pollinator health by providing habitat or helping.
Oh, okay.
provide habitat.
You said that the red text was the 2021. That's why.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. No, there's also blue text that was 2021. Actually, I think if
Okay.
I click on this,
Yeah, one of the things I think I don't see in this, and obviously I'm taking a very fast judge, is
Yeah,
I think people need more education about insects and how important they are in our whole existence, and the impact of the loss of diverse insects affecting not only the world, but the bird life and the pollinator life.
that's a good point. We could probably add to this maybe something like a sentence saying pollinator health is pollinators are insects, and therefore, as we improve pollinator health, we will necessarily be improving insect health.
Well,
Well,
pollinators aren't primary, I mean, they're not all insects. There are other,
That's true.
so,
There, yep.
no, I think it's really that people are so averse to any insect. And, I mean, the way loosestrife is controlled is by a beetle. But everybody's just sort of freaked out about bugs, and bugs, really are important in our life.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. And actually there are, hummingbirds are pollinators and they're not even a bug, right?
Right, but people, love a hummingbird, but they don't love a mason bee or a beetle
Oh,
or a
yeah.
caterpillar.
I have to say, I love mason bees. And I think one of my favorite
I don't
bees,
think you're
the
people
leafcutter
as
bee.
a whole.
Pardon?
I don't think you qualify for the general population of people.
Well, that's true.
So,
But there are a lot of people
but-
that are interested in this. Pardon?
to get back to Isabel's point, can you scroll up a little bit, Mark,
Yes.
the top again?
Yep.
So where it says, in the very first sentence,
Should I make this bigger?
That would
um,
be helpful.
yeah, that would be
Okay.
nice.
Yep.
Okay, the very first sentence there. The loss of honeybee populations and the decline in other pollinators. You could put sort of comma, including, or
Mhm.
you could put in parentheses, other beneficial insects or something like that.
Okay, I mean, maybe
If-
decline in other
if that-
pollinators. but-
If
and
that meets Isabel's. I mean, I don't think we want to put in a whole thing about every single pollinator and insect here, but you could.
No, but I think we really have a charge to be more educative about. Hi, Janet.
Yeah. Hi, Janet.
Hi. Am I,
I think that certainly is a good point, because this is all interconnected, we're not just going to be fixing pollinators. There's relationships. Well, you've heard Jaguar talk about, well, and other people too, that these are, what are they called? They're called foundational species or base.
Yeah.
What's the word? It's not foundational. Keystone.
Mhm.
That sounds good. Sorry, I'm making a small adjustment here. There we go. Okay, well, so maybe now we've got this in parens. Should we just take out the parens?
Sure.
Okay. I don't.
I mean,
yeah.
we're specific, I mean, our charge is specifically pollinating insects, right? So,
Right. Well, this is sort of background section. This
But the
is
fact is that we're not talking about honeybees as pollinating insects to the exclusion of the 150 others.
yes.
how about here? How about putting it this way? And the
Yeah.
decline in other beneficial pollinator insects.
Yeah.
Okay. And one thing we haven't got in here that weren't thinking about in 2021 so much is the idea of species diversity. And we've talked about that in our committee. That certainly is something Jaguar hits on.
Yeah.
I know the Sudbury Valley people talk about pollination systems, the plants and the insects that pollinate them.
I think we can take out insects and just say pollinators.
Okay. Okay. You mean like that?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, then that's essentially what we had, so
Okay.
just
Yeah.
revert to. So it's already in there.
okay,
Okay.
sorry.
So let's see. So
So you can just delete the change, Mark.
delete this change.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I think my point is that there needs to be more education about there are many more pollinators than
Yes.
just honeybees.
How about instead of saying other pollinators, say native pollinator species?
Okay, so while you're typing, I'm doing a workshop this Saturday at Codman Farms at 1 o'clock. If anybody wants to come for a winter sowing, we've got openings. So if you hear somebody who's interested, they can go to the Lincoln Land Trust and sign up.
Okay. Nice. But let's make a note of that in the minutes and send that out to us.
Sorry,
Okay.
what was that?
So,
Saturday, the 10th at 1 o'clock at Codman, sponsored by the Lincoln Land Trust. Sign up on their website.
Siri, remind me Saturday the 10th to sign up Lincoln Codman Farm website. Winter sow. Hopefully I'll be able to understand
Bring a
that.
milk jug or any kind of gallon jug
Okay, great.
that's translucent.
Oh, good. And this
Right,
is,
Steve?
this is,
Is that 1 o'clock?
Yes.
So meet at Codman Farm.
Yep, it's at the greenhouse.
okay. Excellent. So let's see. So, and loss of honeybee populations and the decline in native pollinator species.
Yep.
Diversity, maybe diversity? No, just species. I guess that's enough.
Yeah. That's enough.
Okay,
Okay, now you can go back down below.
okay,
Yeah, I think that's good.
okay.
I think we're set.
Can we
Okay.
look through the duties and responsibilities?
Yes.
Would be nice to know, wouldn't it?
Well, I haven't changed these at all from what was in 2021. I don't think. So if you dwell, I can send this to you guys so you can see the additions. but
Other-
The changes have been marked by who did them and when. So, for example, I did it. Well, now I said I didn't make any changes 8 hours ago. I added this thing, pesticides such as, and I think we have decided that beside neonicotinoids, there are other pesticides that are a problem for pollinators. And so therefore, while neonicotinoids is probably the major is a major source, it's not the only source of a persistent problem.
So
And-
how does this change if the neonics are banned by anyone other than a licensed user? Does it change anything?
I don't think
They
so.
could still be used on golf courses, for instance, right?
They are, yes.
And schools.
Pools?
Yeah, and licensed,
Yeah.
farms can still use them, that have a license,
Okay.
and licensed applicators, like landscaping companies certainly can
Yep.
continue to use them.
And what about herbicides?
Yeah, that's why I put in the pesticides such as herbicides are considered also a pesticide like Roundup.
Okay,
At least in a lot of the reading I've done, they're
they're in the same category because I often see them listed separately.
Yes, well, we could say pesticides and herbicides,
Yeah.
but I think if we,
Well, I mean, technically speaking, herbicides kill plants and pesticides are
No,
intended to kill insects or pests.
herbicides and insecticides make up pesticides.
yeah, I
Oh,
think Steve's got that right.
Yeah,
along with fungicides.
Yep, yep. So it's, yeah, I think we do tend to conflate that term. And actually, looking at, having just had that discussion, I'm looking back up at number 1 there. It says use of neonicotinoids and alternative insecticides. And I'm thinking, well, what about alternatives for herbicides, for example? So it's,
I don't know. I mean, you guys are the experts. I'm the public that hears, people listing them separately.
yes.
I'm Joe Public. Janie
But-
Public.
When you talk about alternatives for herbicides, I'm not sure whether that's what you want to talk about or not, because what the main concern with herbicides is, I think, is that they kill the plants, and any herbicide will do that.
Yeah. And they'll kill the native plants first.
Right, well, I don't know whether they will or not, but Roundup will kill them all.
Yeah.
And then there are selective ones.
Yeah.
We're having an interesting debate this morning with my daughter and granddaughter. My granddaughter's gone to College of the Atlantic up in Bar Harbor. And she's very much against the use of any pesticides, complete. And we have, I don't know whether it's miles or not, but we have thousands of feet of electric fence to keep the deer out of the crops. And we've been using a strip of Roundup underneath that electric fence.
Ooh.
And I don't know a good alternative for that. And that's what we're discussing, because if the weeds grow up, they short out the fence and the fence doesn't work and the deer come in. And if the deer come in, the food doesn't come out.
I would put cardboard under that fence with some dirt.
Do what?
I would do sheet mulching, cardboard with compost or dirt on top.
We're talking about probably a mile or more of it.
I know. I get a good roll of heavy duty paper and roll it down.
Yeah.
That might be an alternative.
I've seen double wire used. I don't know, but I think also even if you use 2 fences side by side, you still have the problem of weeds touching the wire.
Right.
Yeah, we have, well, let's see.
any other major changes?
The
Mark?
change, yeah, the changes I made, the other change I made is, I probably already mentioned this one here. This insertion here, create a database on Concord's pollinator habitats and pesticide use, pollinator populations, and update with annual charges. So I thought it might be useful for us to consider the possibility of asking landscaping companies, for example, to tell us where and when, how they apply a certain amount of pesticide. I don't think that's a requirement for the state licensing currently. So it's probably a real uphill battle, but I think that
They have to keep records of it, but I'm not sure the records are public information.
well, they are public, because we a few years ago, Sam Bruce and I went down to the the MDR pesticide group, and they gave us copies of each licensed applicators. Anybody with a license has to file an annual report. I think
Right.
you have to do, right, Steve? Yeah. And but the problem with the landscaping companies is they say, well, we applied so many pounds of this as part of our business this year, but we don't know where it is,
No,
And
we have to identify it by field.
by field,
Yeah.
Well, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Everything we do.
so you, for example, if you have a field, like the field next to your buildings there, you would say I applied, well, now do you also log the coated seed?
No,
Okay. I think that would be good if we could, but you see, that's, again, it's not required by the state, so this data is not available, but I think for the work we're doing, the
actually, some of the seed companies have finally come up with a seed coating that doesn't contain Roundup. I mean, neonics.
Oh,
that's cool. Yeah.
what does it contain?
I couldn't quote it. I don't know that it must be on the label. I don't carry that stuff in my head.
I mean, is it a different pesticide or?
Yeah, it would be of some sort, I'm sure.
Mhm.
I mean, anything, even organic sprays that are used because they kill something and they're a pesticide, but they're an organic pesticide only because they were derived naturally, not because they're necessarily any less hazardous. I mean,
Yep.
pyrethrin is an organic or a commercial pesticide, depending on whether it has a sticker mixed with it that gives it a longer effective time on plants.
I question whether we're gonna follow through with that mandate. Because, I mean, that's a
Okay.
lot of hours of contacting and hassling with landscapers, and I haven't seen our group really be able to put that kind of man hours or lady hours into it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. Well, I guess it's vague in terms of the level of detail, So in some sense, we could say, well, we don't know where exactly this stuff was put down, but we know roughly how much was put down, something like that.
Well, but you can't even know whether it's in Concord.
True. Okay. So maybe we take that out.
I mean, I'm not gonna chase down landscape people, because when I talk to them, I get run around.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that problem. I know what you mean. I went to the landscapers pesticide training a few years ago, for their license. They have to get an annual refresher or periodic refresher. And I found them kind of ignorant on pesticides like neonics. They said, well, we put the stuff in the ground around the tree we're trying to protect. The bees aren't bothered, but that isn't the point. The point is the tree carries it up into its body and then it appears in the flowers, and that's where the bees get affected. And of course,
Well, I had
enough.
right at my driveway, and I said, I've got food right down here. And he says, oh, but I'm just spraying here.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. I think the one safe place for neonics is certainly working on a house framing, for example. They were originally, I think, one of their design goals was to catch termites. That's probably fairly safe. So I guess the question is, how do we all feel about this change? So Concord's pollinator habitats is something we're working on, and measuring populations, I think, as best we can. I think that's a worthwhile thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So should we just strike out pesticide use, comma pesticide use?
Well, I mean, can you move your marker? Because I can't see.
Oh,
can't
sure.
read it.
This is the part I'm thinking about right here.
Create a bit.
Yeah, I think
The question is the database.
Isabel is right. That's gonna be really, really challenging for
Okay, I'm good
someone
with that.
without an actual, legal remit to find out.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, monitoring or creating awareness about pesticide use.
Right.
But a database and also for pollinator population, I think, I know people that may not want their address listed, but we can know that on Elsinore Road, there are 4 families that do native plants.
Yes,
So I'm not sure about I think my issue is the database, which
I
creates,
think you're right. I think the database implies more detail than we're prepared to provide right now, and may never be prepared to provide, and a lot of work. Oh, that's a really good point. So that changed. Oh, I appreciate your input on all this. Let's see. So let's see, this is one I changed, the, pollinator habitat improvement.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much it. Other considerations were no change. The other change I made was that attachment B used to refer to the pending Article 50, which was, because this was written before town meeting in 2021. And I just went ahead and changed it to be, or the change I'm proposing here is, let's just say, okay, copy the certified vote taken on Article 50. And that's the one that has to do with banning neonics on new town leases of land.
I think I might also want to attach the new law, state law.
Oh, mean banning over-the-counter sales.
Yeah.
Okay. How about a reference to it?
Yeah.
So banning, okay. I'll clean
That
it
sort of
up.
explains why we're not focusing on banning it in general.
Yeah. Good.
I have a question about 4 in the section above E.
Yes, this section right here.
Right. The way it reads now, it's a little ambiguous whether we are interested in other communities' policies because we would find them beneficial if we applied them to Concord, or
Okay.
if in their place in that community, it's beneficial to Concord. In other words, Carlisle could have a policy that does something that's useful for us. But I think what we really want is to, we don't want to say mimic or copy, but basically that's what we want to take the knowledge that other communities have gained, their experience or whatever, and apply it to our community.
Yes. Yes.
So we need to word that slightly differently, because I don't
Okay.
know, it's splitting hairs, but somebody's gonna just reads funny to me.
It does. I agree with you. Well, the whole thing has, there are parts of this that I feel are more complicated than they need to be. Well, boy,
Something like to
Learn from other communities.
exactly.
And,
Yeah, that's
and
a good way to put it. Yeah.
Policies concerning.
To learn whether other communities have adopted policies which we may find beneficial for use in Concord.
okay.
That could be a,
Instead of saying other, just say any other communities rather than any other communities.
that might be beneficial for use in Concord.
Yes. How's that?
Yep, I think that does it.
Okay.
Good job. Thank you for taking that on. I'm glad I didn't.
Okay, so I think we're good with this, no?
Send it out to us and we can all review it.
Okay, good.
Then
Excellent.
we'll vote on it next time.
Great. That's good. That's nice. Let's see, where were we on the agenda? Oh, boy. What's next? Let's see.
Website.
Website, okay.
You did a great job, but I really think we need a meeting that's just website where we all sit down and go line by line. The Lincoln's Mothers Out Front, Lincoln Common Ground Group just established their website. And
okay.
you know, they had their subcategories and everything. And I think, I don't know, I mean, I don't know how committees get anything done if you can't talk to each other outside of, you know, when we meet. It's just crazy. But I think we need a, you know, website only meeting then.
So Isabel, the issue is that we have to use the town resources.
Template.
And those resources are scant. So we're sort of dependent on what they can do. I did reach out to Erin, you know, she's got a new job now, but she's forwarded on our request to the person who should be taking it over, and they're supposed to be reaching out or, you know, emailing me. But I don't think that, I mean, we have to be practical here, and we have to, you know, we can do some changes, but it can't be things that are going to take this one town resource hours. And it, you know, other organizations have people who are doing their websites. We have one person who does all the websites. So we need to be cognizant of that and, you know,
Well,
do
that's
what we
why I
can.
thought if we met together and really understood the limitations, which you've been, you have a good grasp of, and we could really tighten up everything that we want or don't want.
Right.
So-
Well, we tried to go through that exercise
Yeah.
when I collected items, you know, 6 months ago or whenever it was, but
got old.
yeah, so let me wait to hear, let's wait till I hear back from the new person whose name I can't remember, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
But it has to be something that is not overly complicated and is reasonably easy to maintain.
Yeah, be nice if anybody knows of a good town, a website that we could look at and model after.
but you know, it's interesting you mentioned that, because one of the things you told me about was the Mystic Valley, you know, that
Yeah.
mapping issue. And one of the other things I did last week was I said, okay, I got to deal with this and go look at it. It's cool. And in fact, I fiddled around. I found it. I had actually used the same tool they used a few years ago, trying to map where pollinator gardens are in Concord. And it's the Belmont Sustainability Group that's doing this. And I think they're much broader focused than we are. We're focused on pollinators, but the pollinator portion of their sustainability group has got a lot of good stuff. That map. Have you guys seen that map?
It's cool.
It's
It's
cool.
really cool.
I'll send out a URL to you so you can have a look at it. I don't think we wanted to hold up.
But do you think that, I mean, are you saying that the Belmont Sustainability has a website that we might be able to? Because what I'm thinking of is, you know, does the highway department or the library, or, I mean, those are departments, but I don't know, Haywood Meadow, I haven't looked to see what theirs looks like, or historic homes probably, or preservation.
Yes.
I will work.
Doesn't Lincoln, didn't you say Lincoln had a good website?
Yeah,
do.
but if we
Terrific.
look at our own, that isn't our topic, but actually has a very good working one in Concord.
Right, I think it was the sustainability one that we liked, and we
Yes.
asked her to sort of model it after that, because it
Okay.
had some good information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Well,
But
let's
again, it's one person who is doing all the websites, so,
yeah.
you know,
I
I think we
looking-
I think we can get some updates, but I don't think we can expect miracles.
Well, I apologize. I have not put any time into it. I should, so I will make it that part of my holiday.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the annual report. If that's okay with everybody. On the annual report, I did get in touch with the town, and it's they're gonna be sending us a template of what to do. They haven't started to put it together, but they will be, and they're delighted that we're interested in providing one. And we should think in terms of 1 or 2 pages. When I hear from them, I'll send it on to you guys. And
Okay,
figure out how we want to divvy it up. The next item on the agenda was Concord Pollinator Habitats. You guys have got copies of the agenda, right? Or
No.
should I pop it up on the screen?
yes.
Okay, let me see. Did that appear?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bigger.
I apologize. I put a few of my comments into this thing, so but as we've been working here. Let me see if I can make that bigger so it's a little easier to see. Whoops, okay. We can do this. So we're here at the Concord Pollinator Habitats part.
See, I think some of that, the natural resources people have done,
Yes,
I think it already exists in natural resources, and I'm not sure that, I mean, I think now is not the time to ask them because Will is out on paternity leave, and
okay,
there's the new hire to help Delia doesn't start till next year. So it's just Delia and Karen. So I don't think it's fair to ask them to do anything.
I have an idea, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a group that puts maps together for the town. And I know you know that map that's available at the town visitor center? It's one
Yeah.
for Concord Center, West Concord. Well, I gave them coordinates once for water fountains in town, and that's how they know where to put the water fountains. Those little drop icons, little water
Yes.
drop icons in the map. So they may have they may have this information because they may be the folks who maintain the GPS.
Yeah, it's Jill Moonheron, but I think she's going to be working part-time, but she's the GIS person.
Yeah,
Their maps are amazing, the amount of detail.
Yeah.
We had a training recently, she offers them periodically, but that would be if they could add pollinator the town, is that what you're asking, to add the town pollinator gardens to that map?
yes.
I'm
And
sure she could.
why not? Yeah,
I could talk to her about, or will you, I mean, I bet she'd be excited to do it. I know they're in the process of hiring because she's kind of going to be semi-retired working part-time, but there's so much on those maps. I'm sure they could add it.
yeah. I think all you need to do is come in with the GPS coordinates, and probably it would help to have a little name like, the something or other road pollinator garden.
Mhm.
Or, whoever maintain, like the Barrett Farm Pollinator Garden or something like that with I don't think any of them are so big that you couldn't have just a point, a little dot as
Right.
a GPS coordinate. You don't need a big broad section of, anyway, yeah, put them on a piece of paper. And I went down to the office at it's on Elm Street, but on the other side of the Rotary, where the
Mhm.
electrical plant, what is it, the
Yeah.
CMLP, and that's where the guy sat. I don't remember
Okay.
the names at this point. It was several years ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think they could do that. They probably think it was just charming that somebody had an interest.
But you see, there's also the land trust and the conservation land as well as private properties.
I wonder if some of them are on there already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I think
sure.
so.
Laura, can I ask you, what was Jill's last name?
It's Moonheron, Moonheron.
H-E-R-O, Moon Heron, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if you do just Google Town of Concord GIS, you can pull up, oh, and I bet they would, we could email a request or something or find out if it's already on there on one of the layers, but you can click to connect on the maps, and there's actually a training course so you figure out how to use it too, but
Yeah,
with a little tutorial.
it's good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, should we, has anybody been in contact with Fowler about the native seed library?
Well, that's Laura and me.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Laura, pardon me.
Yeah, so it's the two of us.
Isabel's been loading it with some great seed, right, from some recent seed sorting and.
Yeah, and then there's some lists and also the instructions on how to winter sow.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay.
and Isabel's doing this seed sow this weekend, and I'm hoping that the library can have her back to do another one. If we get more people interested, yeah.
Well, and the big news, real big news is that Steve Verrill is letting us use his greenhouse in January for another training that'll be open to everybody.
Oh,
But
that's great.
I'm gonna
Nice.
ask the green thumbs first, but everybody else.
Cool.
And people can get their seeds from the seed library and bring them.
Okay. Something like that. Oh, I left out the letter T in this. It's grant application for plants.
Yeah, I'm working through the politics of green thumbs to ask them to pay for partial shade plant kits to sell at Earth Day and their plant sale.
Okay, great. And
But
there's,
I'm not, they've never had grant applications before. And
Yeah.
the present president said, I don't have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm waiting, I'm working through individuals to get support before I actually tell them how much I need.
okay,
To
Okay.
do two sets of kits, which are 9 plants each, would be about $500,
okay,
$600, I think. And these are plugs that then we would transplant into pots and then sell.
okay.
So if anybody wants to help transplant 1,000 plants, that would be nice.
Wow. So it's about 1,000 plants and about $500?
Yeah, $600, I think.
Okay, 600, sorry.
Yeah, I realized. And Delia applied to the Concord Garden Club for plants to give away because the town, as a town department, she can't sell them without a lot of red tape.
Yes,
And I don't know if she's heard back from them or not.
okay,
They did turn us down for signs for pollinator gardens because they don't do supplies.
okay. Well,
You know, there are a couple other groups that might be sources of money.
Really? Who?
Well, the River Stewardship Council, which is a regional group. But if we can make an argument for this is promoting the health of rivers, we might be able to make some inroads there.
Mhm.
And
Well,
I'd have to check with SISMA. Do you know what SISMA is?
Yeah, SISMAs are all on invasive plants right now.
Yeah, but think about it for a second. You're trying to promote a native plants,
Yeah,
right? So,
No, their grants really have been the other. The other thing is that people just apply for the pollinator pathway and buy a sign for $10. I think that makes sense. Because then they get on the map as well as you get a sign that's, reasonable.
yes.
Wait, Isabel, sorry. Which pollinator pathway? Where
It's
do you
called
apply?
pollinator. It's called Pollinator Pathway, and it is a organization that is out of Connecticut but does New York and New England. And they've got a lot of resources.
Can you send out, did you send out a link on that last time? I don't remember.
Yeah, I did. And then why don't you just looked at it, didn't you, Mark?
Yeah, I think I
So-
did. Yeah. It's,
And you found that they were doing pesticides as well as pollinator pathway links.
I don't know about that.
That's what you said in your email to me, but
Did I? Okay.
can you just pull them up right now?
Well, actually, I could show you the one.
Yeah, this is what the Charles River watershed does.
Yeah, sure. Let me show you this little chunk of the Charles River stuff, I guess. Okay, can you, yeah, this is, you can see this, right?
Yeah, you
So
can make
this
it
is a-
bigger.
This is a little, okay, let's see. So this is a little chunk of the, now this is a little key that we can dismiss somehow. I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not. Let's see. Anyway,
The top one, right? You had the right plate with the dots.
yes,
Now go to the dots and then click on the first item.
yep. So this is, for example, this little yellow dot is a garden in Arlington, and then and I think this, I'm sorry, we're sort of backtracking a little bit, but this might be somehow we work this with the GIS map. But what this little mapping capability allows is you can describe each garden. For example, in East Arlington, there's these, and then they've drawn bars where they feel that the gardens are close enough that pollinators could make it from one to the other, that would be within the range of their flights.
So this is a rain garden on Melrose Street.
Yes, and you know, here's another one.
On Magnolia.
Yep, and then here's another one. So these, and what it is each person that puts in a garden can actually log their garden into the system. There's a form you can fill out that describes your garden. And I don't want to get, actually, I think a better thing to do is to actually play with this yourself. And I'll send out the link so you can get to this. Because we could go on and on about this one, and I think it's going a little bit beyond where we want to go at the moment. But I sort of think that this mapping idea, and I think we could also map locations where we knew pesticides were applied in the landscape as well. And I shared this also with the folks at the Native Pollinator Task Force at Sudbury Valley. So they may be doing something like this for the 36 towns in the Swasco watershed. So let's see, I don't want to get off topic here too much. So we've got there's some good possibilities here.
Well, I think one of the things that may be part of our mission is to link with other groups to really learn from them.
Yes, exactly. And I think, and we literally were talking about that, you know, a half an hour ago. So, and I have to thank Isabel for lighting a fire under me to look at this, because there's a lot out there. And the funny thing was, like I said, I was using this tool in 2015, and I did log a few gardens in Concord, but I hadn't really gotten into it. And what these folks in Belmont have done is they've really used it. And so you can go to a garden and click on it. I did on one this morning, and it would actually show a picture of the garden, as well as, you know where it is. There's a picture of it. And then the person who put in the garden, it's a private garden, but they said, you can look at my garden from this path behind the house. You know, it's a pedestrian path. and it's over near Fresh Pond in Cambridge. And they said, you can look at it and there's a picture of the whole garden. And then there's pictures of each individual plant species they've planted. And they said, now, and Belmont's very specific. They use Jaguar's list. They like Jaguar's list. They also refer to Ptolemy's work. And so they've got, I really felt looking at what Belmont was doing that we could learn a lot. And maybe just like you say, we can, why bother to create it if we can just use it, which was what I think your point was, Isabel, which I thought was very apropos. We don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Good. So it sounds like we've got a lot of good applications, possibilities for grant applications, and we still do have $250 that we can spend on plants that the.
Do we still have that? Have you talked to Delia about it?
I haven't, but I gave her the check and I remember it, and the garden club remembers that they wrote it to them. So, I don't think she can say, oh, well, we never got that. She'll follow through. She can disperse the money for us. What we need to do we need to go to her and say, here's what we want to spend it on. So moving right, this sort of relates to the Native Pollinator Task Force under new business. They're going to be having a meeting this month later on with what they call the ambassadors. I know, Isabel, you've received an invitation to that, I think. I think, Janet, you might have also received an invite. And I was going to ask you all if you would like all to receive invites to this. I don't think we all necessarily need to go, but they are going to be organizing. It's just more of a listening session where different people in different towns can share what they're doing, which is kind of what we've been doing a little bit now. And also they're going to be organizing their own plant sale this spring that we might want to route people to participate in. And
When is it, Mark?
it's I think it's December 16th. I can send out the info. But I thought I'd mention it tonight so that before just sending it out, just to see what you guys felt about it. And it'll be a webinar. Last about an hour and a half.
What time?
Probably 7 to 8:30. I'd have to go back and look. In the evening.
Yeah, I probably won't be able to make it.
Yeah. I don't think we all have to be there.
What was the date again? The 16th?
Boy, okay.
Because I don't have it.
Okay, let me check.
Yeah, why don't you just resend it? It sounds like a better way to go.
And actually, they may be, here we go. Let's see. Let me send it out rather than try to figure it out now. It takes too much time. Anyway, it's in December. Like I say, not all of us need to go. I think a few of us can just report on what they said. Because what it's going to be, just a meeting of doing, actually a lot of the stuff we've been doing ourselves right now, sharing what we've learned that's useful with each other so we can improve our understanding. And their plant sale, I think we can, we'll get information on that and we can use whatever we want of that. They're going to be selling kits, but they won't be doing like you're talking about, Isabel. They won't be, replanting things. They're just going to get kits from
From Bagley Farms?
Pardon?
Are they going to get it from Bagley Farms?
I think, yes, they've got about 3 sources. I'll send that out to you.
Yeah.
I think they're working on which sources they want to use.
I got a notice from her saying, I heard you were interested, maybe we can talk sometime, but she never gave me anything more.
That's Sam? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's kind of organizing this. She's doing a really good job. And then the other thing that's coming along is Dr. Jaguar will be giving a talk in March. Did I send you guys information on that?
No, you did not.
Okay, I'll send that out. I just heard about that, and that's being put together by the Concord Land Conservation Trust. But they want our help in publicizing it. Any other new
That
business?
sounds like something that would be good to work with Delia to get a townwide email sent
Yeah.
out with
Yeah.
NRC, because
Yeah.
we don't get a lot of public people at our meetings, so be hard for us to advertise it.
Yes.
And
I
and
like
the
that.
library, of course.
Yeah, and I wonder if they'll put it in the Concord Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great
They've
idea.
been putting lots of things in there.
Yeah,
They're happy to have any of that.
Yeah, good point. They, by the way, I did trade a short email with Concord Bridge just saying, would they like us as a committee to submit articles to them? And they said, by golly, they would. So if you would like to write an article for them about pollinators and about what we can do to, I think we could, it comes out weekly. I'm sure we could put something in there as often as we can come up with something.
Well, I've been encouraging Lori Gil Perez, who came to our meeting, to submit. So she had an article on the first bridge, because I asked her to write one.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I've asked Anna Stevens, who is a natural homegrown national park on the corner of Stowe and Hubbard,
Yep.
to write an article, but I don't know if she's going to.
Okay.
Oh, and also Jane at White's Pond asked her, because she just did a newsletter to White's Pond about lawns.
Oh, great. Okay.
it might be a nice place to share tips, like, I forget the logistics of Doug Talamy's idea about what you can do to get rid of mosquitoes in your own yard rather than have that
Mhm,
company do the
mhm.
useless spraying. Like in the spring, we could do a little short
Mhm.
article.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah,
actually have a neighbor who does that. Maybe I can get him or his daughter to write one. It's a good idea. Rob could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple
Who's your
weeks ago, I
neighbor?
bought a gallon of garlic juice, and that's awesome. You spray it around.
That's
place
the other
smells-
neighbor who does the garlic.
Yep. It works. It's amazing.
Yeah, but the dump in a bucket with straw kills the larvae, and so and they're not native. I mean, mosquitoes are not native, and if you get rid of them, then you leave some more open space.
Nice. Okay. Well, so this is good. I think we're down to item 6, public comment. This is your chance to straighten us out, Laura.
Oh, no, it sounds great.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you all for coming.
Mark, I have one question.
Yes,
The next meeting, the first Monday in January is the 2nd, which I think is still, it's a holiday because
yes.
on the 1st is a Sunday. So
And
does
I'm
that
so
put our
glad.
first meeting on the 9th?
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you prompted me on that, because there was something I forgot, which is that Matt Johnson would like to meet with us, who's our select board liaison, and has proposed that we meet on Wednesday, the 4th of January. How does that fly with everybody? Could we do that? Could we
I
do that?
have orchestra on Wednesdays, but I guess, I mean, and we're just coming back from the holiday, so
Yeah,
that's not good for me.
not good for you.
It's fine with me.
Okay, that's 2 of us. How about you, Janet?
I was going to suggest, could we meet at a slightly different time on the 4th? What time is your affair, Isabel?
It's in Arlington, starts at 7:30.
Oh,
Well, how about if we meet at 5, say? Would that work?
I don't get home from work till 6, so,
okay,
Okay.
and
Good.
that's on a good day.
okay, so we couldn't like meet at 6.
Boy, do
with-
I understand that. Oh,
Let's see.
Well, wait a second, Isabel, what time does it start for you?
7:30.
Is this? do you have to-
Suppose we met at 6:30 and you could be down there already in Arlington and just do it by phone on Zoom. Does that
I could do
work?
that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to drop off,
I can do that.
my,
Yeah, could you meet at 6:30, Christine?
yeah,
Christina?
it's a little tough, but I can probably make it.
Okay,
Yeah, well, I'm just figuring if we can,
Yeah.
it's so hard to get Matt and he's offered a date. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if we can, maybe you're a little late and Isabel has to cut out a little early, but at least we could all say hello.
Yep.
yeah,
Oh, you
All right,
know,
I'm putting it down as January
what?
4th at 6:30.
okay,
actually, I'm gonna skip orchestra. My daughter's here, so I can do the set. I'm gonna skip orchestra. I didn't realize she's still here then. So I could do the 4th.
Okay, what time? You want to do it 7 as usual?
Yeah.
Okay,
okay, 7 on the 4th, looks like it goes. Okay, well, thank you all
Alright.
so much. I think Matt is looking forward to meeting with us, so this will be good.
right.
What do you play, Isabel?
The violin.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
All
Thank
right,
you.
I have to drop off, but,
okay,
We-
bye.
We're done. Thank you so much.
all right,
Nice to-
Bye.
nice to
Laura,
see
thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks. I had fun. Bye.
Anybody want
Bye.
to move we adjourn? Anybody second? Okay.
Second.
All right.
Second.
Thank you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks. Nice to see you, Steve. Okay.